Hello ladies, it's Christine here, and today I'm going to talk about contouring. I'm going to show you some tips and techniques using some makeup products from Look Fabulous Forever. This is a range of makeup and skincare that's specifically designed for mature skin like mine. First of all though, we might think, why would you do contouring and what is it? So as your skin gets older, you might find that your face skin gets softer and a bit looser, and as a result you might feel that you're sort of losing definition in your face. So contouring can be done with certain makeup products to create the illusion of contours in your face and to re-add that definition that you feel you might be losing. So what I've done to start off with is I've put my face base makeup on. I then did my eyes. So the next thing we're going to do now is to use a couple of products to help me do some contouring. So the trick with contouring is when you're using the products is to use them lightly, and then you can build up the effect. So don't go in too heavy, go lightly. And also to remember that if you use darker shades, they can make a feature recede into the background. And if you use lighter shades, they can make your features come forward. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to use some bronzer. And I'm going to use the bronzer just to add a little bit of definition to my face and add a bit of warmth as well. So the bronzer is the Enduring Summer Bronzer from Look Fabulous Forever. It looks a bit dark and scary in the palette, but the trick is, as I said, is to go lightly. And because I use a translucent face powder all over first, that gives it a good base to go onto. If you put the bronzer straight onto just your foundation, you might find it kind of catches in places. So having the translucent powder there to start with will just help it go on much more smoothly and evenly. So I'm taking a big fluffy brush, and what I'm going to do is apply the bronzer just on the top of my forehead where the sun would catch normally, and then I'm going to take it into just under my cheekbone, into the kind of hollow here, and that's going to give my cheekbones some depth and just make them look a bit more defined and sculpted. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take it just down along my jawline, and that's going to add a little bit of depth there to give my jawline a bit more definition, because it's looking a bit loose and a bit undefined. If you think about those areas then, if you join them up together, it's like a sort of 3 shape. So if you remember when you're applying the bronzer, just to go in a kind of 3 shape on both sides of your face. I'm going to take a little bit on the big brush, just tap it on the back of my hand just to remove any excess, and then I'm going to take it over my temples and down into the hollow just under my cheek, and then down my jawline. And same again, just lifting a little bit in and around. And then you just add a little bit more, and if you put too much on, don't panic. All you need to do is just rub your brush on a clean tissue to get the excess off, and then just run your clean brush over that area again just to take off any additional products that you think you've put too much on. So I'm just going over my forehead, into the hollow under my cheekbone, and just along my jawline. And just adding that darker colour into the hollow under my cheeks is already starting to make them look a bit more sculpted and defined. So that's the bronzer. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add some blusher onto my cheeks to now give them some colour as well as the definition that I've got from the bronzer. And I'm going to use my favourite blusher, which is the Rosy Glow, nice and sort of neutral pink. And this is a cream to powder formula, so it goes on like a cream, and then you can blend it and brush it out into a powder. And what you do with the blusher is apply it onto the apples of your cheeks. So when you smile, the kind of fleshy parts here of your cheek is your apple of your cheek. So what I'm going to do here is just to dot that on the apple of my cheek in a kind of teardrop shape, just using a clean finger to do that. And that's just going to give me a little bit of colour. And I've already got the definition from the bronzer, just going up the way because we're trying to lift that area up. And then I take a nice blusher brush, just going to hold it by the edges of the top edges of the brush and then just sweep that up and out the way, just to blend that in, give me a little bit of colour, and that's just going to complement the bronzer. I'm just going to tap on a little bit more just to give it a wee bit more colour. Okay, so that's given me a bit of definition with the bronzer and a bit of colour with the blusher. And the next thing I'm going to do is to make some of the features on my face stand out a bit more. And I'm going to use the highlighter to do that. So this comes in a kind of pen with a kind of clicky end. And what you do is you click the end to get the product out onto the brush. I'm just going to do that with a tissue underneath here so I don't get it anywhere. And I'm going to just put it on the back of my hand. So I'm just going to take a bit of excess off onto a tissue. And what I want to do is to make my cheekbones pop out a bit more. So I'm going to do that by applying some of the highlighter just along the top edge of my cheekbone. And this is a non-shimmery highlighter, so it's not too shiny or shimmery. It's just kind of give you a nice dewy effect. So I'm just dotting it along the top of my cheekbone, and then what I'm going to do is just pat that in with my finger, and it just gives a nice sort of dewy glow, but it draws attention to that area of my cheekbone, so it makes it stand out a bit more. And working in combination with the sculpting effect of the bronzer and the colour of the blusher just gives my cheeks a nice glow. And also I'm going to make my brows look a bit more lifted in this area. So again, adding the highlighter brings them forward and makes them look a bit more enhanced. So again, just taking a little bit onto the brush and then just going to dot that along my brow bone and then pat it in with a clean finger. Same with the other. And I'm also going to apply a little bit on the inner corner of my eyelid, just to give that a little bit of a lift as well. So just dotting it on, pressing in with a finger, and that's going to also help my eyes pop a little bit more. The other thing that you can do with the highlighter pen is, if you've got a kind of broader nose, you can make it look a bit narrower by putting a few little dots of the highlighter down the middle of your nose and then just patting that in. And also, if you have any little frown lines, you can dot the highlighter in there as well, and that just minimises them. And then finally what you can do is add a little bit on the cupid's bow, a bit between your top lip there. Dab that in, and that's now giving me a nice highlighted look. So those areas are looking a bit brighter, dewy, and as a result that's added a little bit of depth to my look as well. So all I need to do now is just add a little bit of lipstick on and I'm ready to go. So I'm going to use the soft coral. I've got a nice defined contoured look that doesn't look too obvious, just looks nice and natural. Hope you found that interesting, useful. If you want to read a bit more about contouring, there's a good section on the Look Fabulous Forever website in the beauty blog. And we've also got lots of hints and tips about contouring older faces on our YouTube website. So if you've not been there already, why not pop over and have a look. If you've got any questions about contouring, please leave them in the comments below and we'll reply back to you, because we do like to hear from you and answer any questions or comments, feedback that you have. So once again, thanks for watching. Take care and see you soon. Bye bye.